Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. Welcome to this webinar, Improve Your Reporting with Xero's New Reports. My name is Gracie and I'm an education specialist in the New Zealand education team here at Xero. Today I'm here to run through the changes to our reports and what they mean for you, and encourage you to start using Xero's new reports for your business. Our new reports do most things the older reports do, but they contain many new features and customization options designed to make them a better fit for your business and provide a better user experience. Some housekeeping tips will be shared in the chat box, but I want to point out that closed captioning is now available. Click the Show Captions button on your Zoom control panel, or if you select the little arrow on the Show Captions button, you'll have more options to choose from. Joining me today are some wonderful customer support specialists, Mikey and Abby. They'll be helping me by answering any questions you have throughout the webinar, so do pop them through using the Q&A button as I go throughout the webinar today. We also have Anjali from my team helping out in the background and sharing links and information in the chat box. We'll start by looking at the reports in Xero today, both old and new reports, and I'll talk a bit about why we've had two versions of our reports. We'll summarize the great features of the older reports that you enjoy right now. Then I'll show you how to use the new reports to do all these things in ways that we think will be easier and more useful for you. And then I'll show you some of the extra things the new reports can do for you, as well as extra reports. We announced that on the 31st of July 2023, so July this year, the old reports will be retired. We'll cover what this means for you and what you can do if you're still using the old reports. You will have access to an on-demand recording of today's session within a few days or up to 72 hours. So just take in as much as you can today with the opportunity to watch again via the recording for up to 60 days after today. First of all, let's look at what reports are currently available to you. We'll jump into Xero and head to reports. So I'll just head to Accounting Reports. So there are currently two versions of many reports. So if we take the profit and loss, for example, I've just scrolled down and you can see it here on the right under financial statements. The Report Center home screen shows the new version by default, but if you click on the overflow menu, so the three dots on the right-hand side, you can view the older version of this report. So why do we have old reports and new reports? Xero developed new reports as a result of your feedback. You told us the old reports didn't have the flexibility and customization options you need to tailor the information to your business. As a result, we're focused on upgrading the technology behind our reports so we can deliver new features faster than before and give you more freedom to tailor your reports the way you want. You can now rename headings, drag and drop accounts and groups, add formulas, extra columns, page breaks, and much more. I'll show you some extra features now available throughout the webinar. Last year in July, we announced that the old reports will no longer be available from the end of July this year, like I mentioned a moment ago. If you haven't seen this announcement, check out the Xero blog after this webinar. There are also a few newer blogs that cover questions and new releases. All three blogs will be posted in the chat box now for you to save or bookmark so you can take a look later. And if you've already published old reports, don't worry, you'll still have read-only access to them. So let's talk about the main features you like in our old reports. It's easy to select different formats for the profit and loss. The helpful green and red arrows that show favorable and unfavorable variances. How easy it is to compare dates with the same period in previous years. It's easy to show totals and year-to-dates on reports like the profit and loss, and how quick and simple it is to add a comment to provide info about a particular figure in a report. The good news is you can still do all these things with new reports. So let's go and take a look. Let's start by selecting different formats for the profit and loss. So I'm going to go ahead and open this profit and loss now. Cool, and here we can see on the left-hand side a collapsible panel. So it might appear like this when you hop into one of our new reports, but you can just select the arrow to bring it out. Okay, so down on the left-hand side, you'll notice there's a heading for common formats, and I'm just going to go through and show you each of these now. So starting with the budget variance. This compares actual figures to your budgeted figures and shows a variance amount and percentage. And as before, you do have your green and red arrows that indicate favorable or unfavorable changes. You can see those as I scroll down. And now if you add a variance column to other reports, you'll also see these arrows. Next on the left-hand side, current and previous 3 months for that monthly comparison. Cool, so you can see that there. And what about current financial year by month? This shows how your business is performing each month of the financial year. And in this organization, the year end is the 31st of March. So currently there are just a few months of data showing for the year. But what's really cool is if we go to the next one, which is current financial year by month, actual and budget, this means that you can look ahead as each month of actuals show throughout the year. So you've got your actuals, but then you're also able to see your budgeted or forecasted amounts as well. And as the year goes on, each month will just update those actuals, still showing those budgeted figures. All right, so underneath that, we have month-to-date comparison. Cool, and this shows how your business is performing so far this month and compares it with the same period in the past 3 months. Next, we have year-to-date comparison. And this compares your performance so far this year with the same period in the previous 2 years. All right, so if you use tracking, you'll see options to compare your tracking category options. This business operates in different regions. So if I select the compare region common format on the left-hand side there, this allows us to compare each location for the year to date. So you can see our categories or tracking categories, east, north, south, and west, but also those amounts that are unassigned. So they're not assigned to a particular tracking category. All right, so you can return to Xero's standard format at any time on the top left. So if we just select profit and loss again. Cool, this will take us back to our standard profit and loss. And if you've saved any custom reports or custom versions, of the profit and loss, you'll see your 5 recently updated custom reports in this panel. So you can see here, I've got a custom report for a profit and loss showing there. All right, so I'll minimize that. So choosing and comparing dates is really easy as well. We can just use the drop-down menu to select from some common date ranges or choose your own date range. So we could click into the date and it will show the calendar that we can use, or we could simply type the date. For example, if I type in 12 and hit tab, the key gives you 12th day of this month. So that's handy. If I type in 4.5 and tab, it gives you the 4th of May this year. But if I type in maybe 1.2.21 and tab, this will give me the 1st of February 2021. And you can use the / key instead of dots if you prefer. So in this example, I want to compare the important Christmas sales period with the previous 2 years. We offer a Christmas discount on sales between the 16th of December and the 4th of January. So I'll select that date range. So I'll head to my date and I will just type those in using the dot method. So 16.12.21 tab, and then I'll go 4.1.22 tab. All right, so this is a 19-day period. If I compare this period with the previous 2 periods and update, you can see a comparison of the 2 19-day periods immediately before it. But that's not what I want here. I want to compare it with the Christmas sales period in the past 2 years. So under my drop-down, I'll just select year, and then I'll go ahead and update that again. And now I can see how the latest Christmas sales period compares with the previous ones, which is really handy. But let's look at adding columns. In this example, we'll add totals and year-to-date columns. If we run this report, the standard profit and loss for the month compared with the previous 2 months. So I'm going to, in my drop-down, select this month, and already it's come up with compare with 2 months. So that's cool. And I'll go ahead and update that. All right, so you can see that there. To add a total or year-to-date column, we can select this More button. Now, this actually gives you quite a few options. You can select the accounting basis, then choose what to show on the report. You can show the accounting basis that you've selected. You might want to show account codes, decimals, a percentage of trading income. This can be useful if you want to keep an eye on your costs or spot trends. And here you can select the total and year to date. And so I'll go ahead and update that. And now you can see your new total and year to date columns have been added now. All right, so what about adding comments to provide that extra information on a particular figure? There are a couple of simple ways you can do this. Firstly, you can add an annotation right next to the figure. So you can see here, I've already got my annotations turned on, but to turn those on, you would just go to Insert Content and select Enable Add Note. All right, so I want to add a quick comment next to this sales figure here. So I'm just going to select Add Note, and I'm going to label it Sales. And I'm going to pop in sales higher this month due to a recent advertising campaign. And I'll go ahead and select Done. So this adds a footnote at the bottom, or for anyone looking at this report on the screen, they can click into the note and view it. So we've got a 1 here, and then we can see our note easily. So those are a few features of the new reports that match some of the most popular features of the old reports. But the new reports allow you to do so much more. So I'll now let you know about some features unique to the new reports. I said earlier, the main reason Xero created the new reports was your feedback. You told us you wanted more flexibility around reporting and more ability to tailor reports to your business. Some of the powerful customization features in new reports are more options for grouping accounts together, including renaming groups, moving their position in a report, and showing or hiding group totals. You can now add page breaks, formulas, and extra columns, reorder and sort columns, add schedules, and rename reports. Not only are there extra features, but running a variety of reports with customization already done, thanks to common formats, means less time spent. Also, the extra features additional to the above, some of these reports give. And now there is a management report pack available with lots of scope to add or remove reports and update to suit your needs. I'll first show you a few reports you can run easily and quickly without a lot of customization, and then I'll show you the management report pack. Okay, you saw the budget variance common format earlier, which now makes it a lot faster to run budget variance reports. Some reports now even include graphs in the common formats, for example, in the new customer and supplier reports. I'll quickly show you a report that not only used to take around 20 clicks to customize, it also now includes a graph. So if I head to Accounting, Reports, and if I scroll down to the Receivables and Payables section, you would just choose the Receivable Invoice Detail, and of course the Payable Invoice Detail if you are running that respectively. Cool, so this is our click one. Another recent release is the More menu. So if I select that, it now asks if you want to include prepayments and quotes. For those that deal with these types of transactions, you might know that previously it wasn't possible to report on quotes and prepayments, but we've been listening and we've made it happen. On the Common Formats panel on the left-hand side, we would select Top Customers, which is our click 2. So in 2 clicks, you can see who your top customers are. So I'll just minimize that. All right, so you can see here, right off the bat, you'll notice that there's a bar graph to visually represent the sales amounts for each customer. This is a very new release with the aim to make it even easier for you to find the information you're after without having to spend lots of time analyzing your reports. You can choose to see the chart at the top or the table. So down the bottom, you'll notice that there is a table. And you can do that by selecting the 3 dots and move down. So that will just move the bar graph down to the bottom. Or maybe you only want to show one or the other. So under the chart drop down, you can update that as you wish. You may also find it really helpful to see the balance and any payments or credits for these top customers. So by selecting more columns, you can now get more information at a glance. So I'll go ahead and tick balance and payments/credits and update. So you can now see that 3 of the top customers have outstanding amounts due. Another report to provide you an easy way to take action and see how long amounts have been outstanding is the Aged Receivables Summary Report. This is a great report to run to add some extra columns to and save as a custom report. That way you can run it as often as you like without having to carry out customization each time, getting a picture of what money is yet to come in quickly. So heading back to our report center, you can go to Accounting Reports again, but anytime you notice this little blue link on the top left that says Reports, you can just simply click on that and it will take you back to that report center page. So you can find the report in the Payables and Receivables section. So scrolling down there again, we're going to select Aged Receivables Summary, but again, you could run and customize your Aged Payables Summary report as well. But clicking into this report, and this is where the magic happens. So we'll just let that load. All right, so you can see that there. But by selecting more columns, so available credit, credit limit, mobile, phone, primary person, and selecting update, you have a lot more of a better bird's eye view over who owes what, for how long, and if they have a credit limit, for example. You'll also see there, as we scroll along, the available credit column too. Not only that, but the ability to pick up the phone right from within this report and chase those customers that do need additional follow-up. By saving this report as a custom report, so I'll go save as custom, and I'll just add custom to the title. You can easily pull this up again in the future and use this report to work on getting more cash in the door. You can access all your custom reports in the custom tab in the report center by heading again back to the report center and by clicking on the custom tab here. Cool, so this is the one we just saved. Now the overflow menu has some more options such as exporting to PDF, making a default report, or even favoriting the report. But this can also be done by just by clicking the star on the left-hand side there. And this means that it's even quicker to access the reports you use the most going forward, as you'll see them in your drop down now when you click on accounting. So under our starred reports, we can now see our aged receivables summary, our custom report. So it's super easy to just click that and run the report and update the dates, each month or however often you run the report. Okay, so there is a new management report pack, which is a great way to pick and choose what key reports you'd like to see in one cohesive pack that you can run monthly, quarterly, or whichever time frame suits your needs. To create the management report pack, we'll just click Home as we're already in the report center. And down under Financial Statements, I will select Management Report on the right-hand side there. All right, so this report comes with 6 reports. So in my drop-down, you can see those 6 reports, including the new version executive summary and cash summary reports, complete with average and variance columns. So if I scroll down, you can see those variance columns there. Cool, and you've also got a filter option to hide any rows that you don't want. So the executive summary also includes a range of ratios and formulas. So down the bottom here, you can see performance ratios and different formulas to do with the position. And this just gives a high-level overview of how the business is performing. We've added some additional functionality to the new management report to be able to reorder or remove reports in the pack. So under the contents drop-down again, you can see the option to reorder or remove reports, as well as add other reports. So you'll notice there's an Add Report button, including any common format reports or custom reports like the one that we created earlier. So up the top here, you can see our customized aged receivables summary report. And then as we go down, there's some standard reports, but right at the very bottom are our common format reports. And we've got, for the cash summary report, a new common format as well. And you'll see that down the bottom, and it's a working capital with other cash movements. So if you want this more detailed layout, you'll no longer have to spend time customizing it. But a great report to add to the management report pack, additional to the customized reports I showed you before, is the accounts transaction report. So this is a standard report, and I will select that now and click Add. This report will help you deep dive into transactions and make sure nothing has been reconciled incorrectly, for example, as well as the ability to customize based on what you want to see. So under columns, you can add a column for account code and related account. And then I'll just make sure all of my accounts are selected and I can go ahead and update. And this just means that over on the right-hand side here, you can see the other side of a transaction at a glance. Once you've chosen which columns you want to see, you can reorder them so the report is easy to read. So I'll select reorder columns and I'll just pull my account code right to the top there and click Apply. And you can now see that the corresponding account code for my accounts is showing on the left-hand side there. And you can also toggle the compact view option down the bottom. This just means that you might want the text, for example, to appear bigger, or you might just want to see more lines on a page, which the compact view gives as well. Plus, the management report has all that cool new report functionality like flexible date ranges and the ability to add annotations. And of course, we want to save this management report pack as custom once you've finished adding and customizing any reports within it. So that way it's all ready for you to quickly run going forward. So I'll just pop a customized on the end there and click Save. And I definitely want to favorite this. So I'm going to view all of my custom reports. And I will go and blue star that. So again, it just shows my accounting drop down now, which is really handy. We know that you all have different reporting needs, and in the past, there hasn't been much flexibility with the limited management reporting options available. However, now you have the power to build reports like those I just showed you, but also your end of year, reconciliation, and even text-based reports like meeting minutes with the customizable management report. As I've already mentioned, in July, we'll retire the old reports. So if you're still using some old reports or need to keep any published old reports, what does this mean for you? If you haven't started using the new reports yet, we definitely recommend you do so. It is the best way to learn. And as we've just shown you, they're easy to use and a lot more flexible than the old reports. You'll still have read-only access to your published old reports. Those won't disappear. And if you're using a custom layout in an old profit and loss or balance sheet report, we've actually built a simple conversion tool to let you recreate that format in a new report. So I'll show you this now. You can access old reports from the report center. So again, I'll just click on home. But any published or old reports that you've published can still be found in the Published tab. So you'll see an old report that I've published, and it's just notifying me that it will become read-only from the 31st of July. Now, after the 31st of July, you're still able to view these, but you won't be able to copy or edit them. And just so you know, if you have any old reports in draft, these will disappear after the 31st of July. So if you do want to keep them, make sure you finalize and publish them. To recreate your existing format in a new report, let's first open an old version of the profit and loss. So I'll click home. And by the profit and loss, I'll just select my 3-dot menu and select view an older version of this report. Cool. So this has opened my old version, and all I'm going to do is select this button, try new report version. What this does is it opens a new profit and loss report. And you'll notice on the right-hand side, the tips and tricks panel. So if you have an old report layout you want to apply to the new report, then if you scroll down in this tips and tricks panel, you'll see that there's a button for select layout. And this just allows you to select the layout that you want. And I've got a customized custom layout called summarized expenses. So I'm going to select that and click next. Now we can save this as a custom report so that you can reuse it whenever you want. We can give it a unique name, so any name you like. So I'm going to call it profit and loss with summary expenses, and I'll go ahead and click save. Cool, so it's as easy as that. And remember, you can find all your custom reports in the custom tab on the reports page, and your recently updated custom reports in the side panel as well. So again, if I open the side panel, you'll now see that we have our profit and loss with summary and the one that I had saved earlier. There are a handful of reports that will be remaining as we're upgrading these in a different way or at a later date. For the full list and more information, check out the link that will be posted in the chat box. So we've had a look at the feature parity between old and new reports and why we have new reports. We've also looked at extra features and reports, as well as shown some customization to get you thinking about what you might be able to do in your new reports to suit your business. Lastly, we've taken a look at a tool to help you set up your new reports as a starting point, and from there you can explore our other reports, including common format reports, customizing your new reports, creating a management report pack, and more. For more learning, you can check out the videos on our YouTube playlist to see many of these reporting features in more detail. A link will be posted in the chat box now to this playlist. If you need more help with your reports, please do feel free to raise a case with our award-winning support team. I can see that Mike and Abby have been busy working away in the background answering your questions today, but if you still need help after the webinar, the best way to get assistance is to raise a case. Thank you for coming today. We look forward to seeing you on another webinar soon. Please do take a moment to fill in the survey that is being posted in the chat box now, or you can simply scan the QR code on the slide. I'll leave that there for just a few more moments. But enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Thanks, everyone.